clock, it's shining bright. Turn the dial and feel the might. Just enough Heshy takes flight. Woo! Laughs and wisdom side by side. Heshy show won't be denied. Tune in live and ride the tide. Feel the rush and feel the pride. It's just enough Heshy. Wanna vote for Heshy? It's just enough Heshy. Join the crowd, it's messy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Just Enough Heshy show. And I have a wonderful guest on my show. We're going to talk about a lot of things. And I want to welcome all my YouTube fans. Chana, a special shout out to you. I just met Chana, and she's helping me in my election. Hello, Chana. Courtney and Black Beauty and Rachel and all the rest of you, my regulars, and Jay. And whatever, and all my Instagram fans, welcome to the show, and my Facebook fans, and soon we'll be joined by the many radio listeners. My friend that will join the show in a few minutes is Christopher Messi from the great state, as he likes to call Florida, which I'm going to complain to him about something about Florida. I'm a little upset that he let some politician get away with something. I don't know how he let that happen, but we had an interesting day yesterday, and I want to show you what America, the propaganda is. And then after I went home a little early yesterday, I had a long day, and I went home a little bit early to watch the president's speech. And then for fun of it, I decided, you know what, let me watch Fox and CNN, and I couldn't believe what I was listening to. I mean, if the hundreds of millions of Americans would have seen what I seen, I can't believe that you even entertained what happened yesterday. But we're going to talk about the president. We're going to talk about New York City and the mayor. We're going to talk about so many different things that are going on, that are continuing to go on. We have also an exciting 3 weeks coming up. Yes, my election. I'm telling you, my dear friends, and I'm going to repeat it again when our live listeners come on, I'm excited. I feel good. I feel very excited, and I hope all my YouTube fans and all you social media people are watching my videos, paying attention, seeing what I'm doing, but seeing what you can do for the community as well. Very, very important, and that's what I'm here to tell you about. What I believe is so important, and this is what you're going to hear from me right now. I have people that are against me, and I'm going to tell you about one particular person that called me today. And I actually texted him, and I said, I'm going to talk about him today. And he said, go ahead, talk about it. And we will talk about him. We will talk about it. We will discuss him. And I know he told me, go ahead, you have no problem, Heshy, to do so. So I'm going to take care of that as well. And we're going to talk about how you're going to help me on my campaign. Anybody who wants to come along, like Chana, who's just a wonderful person, and she popped in, and I had a great chat with her. What a wonderful young lady, and just so warming and delightful. She was here last week with me, joined in with us, so I was excited about meeting her, and she went out there just like no questions asked to go out to help me. I'm great. And right now what we're going to do is I'm going to welcome a couple of our live radio listeners right now. And I'm going to tell you who they are if my computer stays on. And what's important, and by the way, you can call into the show, but I have Christopher Messi, and so we're going to be talking to him a lot and arguing with him about some things. I would like to welcome all the listeners. Hello from WNEW 102.7 FM and WSNR 620 AM, our flagship station, and WJPR 1640 AM in Miami. I'll be maybe coming down there for the Passover holiday, so you're all welcome to come see me wherever I am. I'll be hanging out. My family wants to hang out on the beach, but I'll be cooking and cleaning. What I want to tell you right now is something serious. New York City is in trouble. New York City is now in big trouble, and I hope Christopher Messi finds a way to help me, because this week the crazy wacko Quackamo Cuomo announced that he's going to run for mayor, and he has a 37% approval rating, while Mayor Adams has a 10 or 12%, and some guy in the middle. And did we not forget? Are we lost? Did we not forget who this man was? I wanted to go so badly to that press conference, but they held everybody back. Did we not forget what he did to us? And here's the worst part. My good friend, who I make fun of, you're right. I have a friend. I have a person in the community. He never really backed me, but he's a nice man on a personal level. I bump into him all the time. His name is Ezra Friedlander. He's a lobbyist. And some people said he went with Iran. He's not with Iran, but he's a lobbyist, and that's what he does for a living. He picks whatever side pays him, and that's how he makes a living. In my particular case, I pay people pay me, and I help people to fight for them. Now, sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're not perfectly right, but my job is to help them, and not to make a bad cause, but when they're in trouble or they did something wrong, to fix them. Anyways, Ezra Friedlander called me up, and he actually said to me, Heshy, you might have a good chance to win. I feel good about it. And he even said that you did so good when I was fighting the homeless shelter. And I'm going to tell you what happened. When I was fighting the homeless shelter, he said I spoke well. He was very impressed. I said I've been doing it for years, but I was very impressed with him. And I even offered to help him with his $6 million building. And I told him that I'm the most qualified to help him. And he's in shock. Why would I help him? Because I help him. I think he's a good man too, and you help everybody. And I know he's done some good. I just don't like his politics, and when he goes against me, and he knows I'm the right person. But again, he's a lobbyist, and he has to pick the right way to make a living. And my way is, I believe my living comes from God, and if I do good, I'll get paid, and if not, I get paid or not paid. But that's my stupid thinking. I don't care if you don't like it or not. But we're going to start the show in a moment. Ezra, I'm giving you a shout out. I'd like to shout out, most importantly, while we start the show, to my granddaughter Mira Nava, who I'm going to make a joke about this week, and not Linda, so Linda's off the hook. I'm going to shout out to my granddaughter, Layla Tamar, my grandson, and he's a big boy, Benjamin Hill. My other one, my other granddaughter, Ahuva, she's like 10 months old. This girl, I swear to you, I was babysitting her again this week like a nut job. I don't know why. This girl destroyed my house again, and I just finished cleaning it. And this girl, I just turned my head for a minute. I was talking to my son, and she disappeared. I said, you can't leave them alone. I said, I know. These little babies are like, you got to be very careful. And we're going to talk about something else. And then my beautiful son, my grandson, Yeshua, who's talking to me, and we're having a good time, and we're hanging out together, and he's already 2. He's going to be 3 soon. Anyways, I want to give you the quote for the day. This is very quote. This quote is specifically, Ezra Friedlander, this quote's for you. Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up. Many of you people like Ezra and stuff said, Heshy, stop. Give up. It's over. Just go back to work. No. I know what it is. I know I'm so close. I will win this election with a landslide, just like I told you, Trump. So I failed. I didn't really fail. I was cheated out of the election. And you know what? I want to tell you something. I was invited to, and I'm very upset about this, to the Republican Executive Committee. I think I told you guys about it. I was invited to speak. Heshy, speak. We want to make a vote if we should endorse you. So they had Simcha Felder on the phone, my competitor. He got other people out of the race. And they said he spoke stupid. He couldn't answer questions. He didn't even have the nerve to show up for this executive committee meeting. This lady, Jen Moore, calls me, Heshy, come early. We need to see you. We want you to have a shot to get on the committee. I get to this meeting, and I speak great. I'm telling you, the people themselves told me how great I was. They asked questions right off the bat. I was prepared. I answered all my questions, and I won the vote. One of the guys who voted against me is running for district leader, Nachman Kala, a Jewish man. And I said, why'd you vote against me? He says, well, if you lose, I get to run, and Simcha Feldabitzi, I get to run for senator. I said, you have no chance. They're never going to support you. He says, well, I don't care. I want a chance. I said, but don't you think you should, you're 77, 78 years old. You won't be able to serve your term out. He says, I just want on my resume. I said, that's the dumbest reason to become a politician. So he's running for district leader again with this girl Sawyer. Again, a person running for district leader, running for political position. And I want my friend Christopher to hear it. This lady is fighting the homeless shelter too now. She just woke up, but she was evicted for not paying rent as a squatter. She was a user. She now somehow became chief of staff after we helped her get her jobs, and she's like a con woman all her life. And then her husband, whoever, an idiot, starts screaming at me that he represented me. He never represented me. He took money when I paid him to do stuff. So anyways, I'm at this executive meeting, and I spoke well, and I won the vote. I actually won the vote. I was told, texted from inside, Heshy won the vote. The chairman, Richie Basimian, whips out 20 proxies. And he says, I lost. He didn't even show them. He didn't even show them to me who voted against me. Don't you think I have a right to do that? So Jen, this lady, his assistant, told my friend 2 days before the vote, Heshy lost. How did she know that? She says, well, he had no chance, and we set up the proxies. She admitted it. And I said to her, and I called her back, I said, why would you do that? Why would you waste my time? This is called election fraud. He doesn't understand that even though it's a Republican Party chairman and it might not be a real election, but it's still an election. It was still the Republican Party. I'm going to make a complaint, and I'm thinking of filing a lawsuit, especially if I win. And he's trying to run for city council, and I'm putting up somebody against him. But I'm going to beat Simcha Felder hands down. I'm going to beat him. And I want you guys to come out, and I want you to support HeshyTishler.com. I need volunteers. We already have about 489 signatures in a little over a week, like a week and a day. We only needed 450, but you know they're going to question us and torture us, so we're going for about 1,500. Yes, we had to collect signatures for the next election that's happening within this election. What a city. Mr. Felder, and I like Mayor Adams, but he's a player. He's a player, and he played his cards, but so far he's not endorsing anybody because he has problems. And we have a lot of people not endorsing anybody, and I'm very proud. And even I spoke to Dov Heikind, and me and Dov had a nice conversation. I said, Dov, whenever I, make fun of you, whatever, we're good friends. I love Dov. I love him. And he says, Heshy, when anybody calls me, I'm going to tell them that you only do good. And he knows that for a fact I do good. He was one of the only ones that showed up for the Palestinian protest. And a lot of people called me and says, Heshy, if you're so crazy, why did you go to the Palestinian protest? Why did you make a counter protest? You hate the Gazans, you hate the Arabs. Do you hate them? Do you not? Let me tell you a story, my children. The day after, the Sunday after the Palestinian protest happened, that you guys all think that I hate the Muslims. I don't, because I have a large Muslim community. I had Muslims in my house. I work with Muslims. I have a large Muslim clientele. A lot of them call me Uncle Heshy. They live with me. I have Muslims that live with me, young men, older guys, families that love me. 2 young Muslim boys were arrested on something stupid. And they called me, and I said, are you sure you know who you're calling? They said, we were told to call Uncle Heshy. You will help them. And I did right away. I got my lawyer on it. We got them on a court, and we got some bail. And right away we spoke to the DA, and we explained the story. And right away we made a deal. My job is to serve my fellow man, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Jewish, black, white, Asian, whatever you want to tell me, Indian, I'm here for you. It's not me. All of us should be for each other's neighbor. That's what New York is about. Somebody told me today, they called me from Long Island, Blakeman, the Nassau district, one of his workers says, Heshy, we like you. And we want to hear about your campaign. And I said, I love Mr. Blakeman from over there. It's very nice of you that you're even paying attention. Of course, he says, why do you have to run for councilman? Run for senator when Felder vacates his seat. I said, even if I wanted to, okay, I want to represent my city. Mr. Felder has done nothing for us now. Zero. Doesn't even come to executive meetings. He sits in his house hiding in his basement and then goes to Jersey for the weekends. By the way, I'm going this week away to Jersey to my son. So I shouldn't be saying anything. But I don't really go to Jersey, and I'm not really a Jersey man. And I got my other son to move back from Jersey because he was in school there. But I am a New York resident all my life, 61 years. I've never moved out of this city. I've moved around. I went to Manhattan for a couple of months. I lived in Staten Island a little bit, but I was single. I needed a place to study and do my stuff and invest my money. But I am a Brooklyn boy. Besides those 2 years, this is where I am born and bred, and I've never moved out of this city. And I'm going to represent this city to the end. Anyways, I'm going to tell you a funny joke, and we're going to start our show. I was at my son's house, and my granddaughter Mira Nava me were sitting together laughing, and we saw Rachel, her mother, running all over the place, looking. She says, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone?" And then I remember my little granddaughter said to me, he says, "You know what? You should, they should invent something that would have the phone connected to the base." Come on, that was funny. Remember when? I think that was funny because when I was younger, you people, a lot of you little people don't remember this, but we used to have our phones really connected to the wall or to the base. It was, with the dial and whatever. There was no cell phones when I was a kid, even though they had something of that nature, but they wasn't. Well, that was funny, and I just laughed at my granddaughter. Look how smart she is. We're going from a hand phone that people couldn't have on bases, and now she says we should make one back again. It was the smartest way to do it. But yeah, we get crazy looking for our cell phones and getting lost. And we have to be able to, you have these little monitors on it. There was a guy who died, a very big actor, Gene Hackman. And they said carbon monoxide, not carbon monoxide, pills, whatever it is. I want you guys to be careful. My fire alarm, my smoke detector went off and started beeping, and I had to change the batteries. But many times I've left the oven a little bit too high or something burning a little too long because I'm a cook. I cook a lot. And that smoke detector does help me. It screams out fire, 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 or too much smoke, even though it overdoes it. You've got to have carbon monoxide detectors in your house. You got to have fire alarms in your house. These are very serious issues that can save your life. And if you ever need one, go to my website, heshytishler.com. Send me an email. Support me. You can still donate to my campaign. Very, very important. I'm halfway to the second round of collecting my money. So heshytishler.com. Give me $10, $20, up to $175. But I'm here for you. And when they post it on the screen, if you ever post it, heshytishler.com, you'll learn how to spell it and whatever. I guess he's not posting it. He's not paying to the show. Anyways, thank you, producer, for posting my heshytishler.com website. We all know that yesterday Donald Trump spoke to the joint session of Congress. Now, the man gets up there and he tells the Democrats, today we're here together. I'm here for a few months. Let's today stand together. One day, just get up and clap once. Let's one day be together. Let's one day show America that we're together. And not one of them stood up for him. They held up signs, false and liar, and making fun of the president of the United States. No matter what you want to say, he's president. And these stupid Democrats, which I'm ashamed to tell you that I was a member of once, and I wanted to be. I thought maybe we could make that party back again. The stupidity of it is that we're showing them trillions of dollars in money that's stolen. And here's the best part. The president gets up, says Social Security are people that are collecting Social Security 100 years old, 150 years old, one guy 160 years old, and one guy 350 years old. And they're still collecting. So he said there's 430,000, there's 1 million people collecting. So one of these Democrats gets up and says, President lied, there's only 89,000 people who are dead that are collecting Social Security. I don't understand. One person shouldn't be collecting who's dead. So even if the president is wrong, 89,000 people, let's just know that they're collecting 1,000 each, 3,000 each. Billions and billions of dollars is being taken away from us. Trillions of dollars are being found that we can reduce the budget. They're upset that the president is throwing out 80,000 people who work for the veterans. Because some of those guys are just running red tape. You see, the veterans are homeless, sleeping on the street. They're not getting the programs, the red tape. And you have 479,000 employees. Fire them all. Get people who actually get these veterans the proper services and the proper money. And this is where I'm going to scream at my friend Christopher Messi. Kamala Harris went down to Florida by the hurricane with a plane full of supplies. They said when she got there, it was for show and the supplies weren't even unloaded. How did you let that, Christopher? How do you allow her to even come into your state? Anyways, the president spoke great. And you know, all those times that you people tell me, oh, Heshy, oh, you're full of crap with all the Doge. President got up there one after the next, telling people about Doge, telling people of all the, I'm telling you, billions. He got up there and said 20 billion, 80 million, 60 million, number after number. And the president doesn't get up there, even though they were fact checking him. One stupid lady started fact checking him when and this is a shame, a Democrat on television. She gets up there and he says that there's a boy who's dying from cancer. Maybe he has 5 or 6 months left. And he was invited over there. And the president made him an honorary Secret Service agent. Isn't that good? You know what she gets up to say? She says, oh, the president is so stupid, or whatever. Didn't say those words like, oh, why would he do that? Why would he take a kid that's 6 years old that he just went through pediatric cancer? The boy he made him feel good. She went to knock the president for making a young boy feel good. And all your people with your DEI and, you know, and like now you have that stupid idiot, Letitia James. She's telling the educational institutions that the schools, that K-12s and colleges and universities, that they should have the DEI policies and practices in the education. Now, we know, like the president said, there's 2 sexes, male and female. And he brought a lady to the game who was a hot volleyballist, a professional, whatever, in college, whatever. And they allowed this male to become a woman to play in this game. He smashed with all his power of a male into her face the ball, and she had some brain injuries, and she was knocked out of the sport. Male is a male, a female is a female. A male is not allowed into a woman's dominant sport. Now, if the woman wants to join the male sport, if she can hack it, fine. But you know these males can hack it into female sports. And even if they can't, don't allow them in. That's why we have 2 genders. And he was great, the president. And I want you to know what I'm so proud of him is that he invited the widow of somebody that was killed, you know, when the president was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania. He invited this woman whose husband died over there, a fireman who jumped on top of his family to protect him. He invited his wife and his kids. And do you believe that the Democrats did not get up to clap? Did not get up to clap this hero who saved his family? Wow. Wow, wow. Thank you, Democrats are looking like idiot. And then some walked out, and then I forgot about this guy, Al Green, in the beginning. This guy with a ponytail, with a cane, who has nothing better what to do. I don't even know why he's in Congress. I don't even know why he's there, starts screaming at the president. Didn't even make up any issues. The man is not even president for 2 months, and you're freaking about his policies. Look, you're right, he threw Zelensky out of the White House. And look, yesterday he shocked the whole world by telling everybody, hey, Zelensky's willing to jump on board. He's willing to join us. I told you President Trump is going to do good. And everybody's screaming about tariffs. Another thing I'm going to talk about him. You know, who cares what Canada has to say? You're right, Canada is good friends. We should be maybe a little bit more lenient and rethink it. But, you know, Canada, we don't even supply them with 1% of the business. They give us 25% of their business. They make a lot of money on us. So you can raise your tariffs as much as you want, Justin Trudeau or anybody who wants. You make a lot of money on us. You got to stop with your stupid tariffs and go easy on us and put your border together. Just like the president told Mexico. Those little gangsters over there and those cartels, you're terrorist organizations. You can be ready. The cartels are saying to the president of the United States, we're ready, come get us. We have the best military in the world. We're going to come get you. Maybe you'll get us in the beginning, we'll fail, but we'll get you. We're going to get you. We're going to wipe you out, just like President Trump said today and yesterday. Listen, Hamas, you better give back our hostages or we're coming for you. And he said, shalom means hello and goodbye. He says, you don't give us our hostages back, say goodbye. Anyways, where's my friend Christopher Messi? Christopher, are you on the line here? Did they even connect you in over here? Hello? No, I guess not. Christopher, are you on the show?
Yeah, I'm here.
Welcome, Christopher. Welcome. I don't see you on the screen. There you are, you handsome, good-looking man.
Yeah,
I'm very Christopher, I want to start right away off the top. I mean, Are you crazy? Your Democratic friends just don't even address our. I mean, what did he do so wrong in 2 months? Can you tell me how your Democratic people embarrass themselves to the country by not even standing up, or at least when he comes in, even.
I'd like to be helpful to you, Heshy. First off, I love you like a brother. Never ever say your Democrat friends to me.
Good.
That's like say your Hamas friends to me. Not quite as bad. That's not fair. But I watched their silliness, and it's a measure of the puerility of the American left. That how do you not stand up for the widow of a man who was shot by someone who tried to kill an American presidential candidate? What point do these idiots think they're making that is remotely a positive point? This bizarre.
And they walked out. Some people walked out. Isn't that embarrassing?
But Lyndon Johnson once said beautifully, if you're explaining, you're losing. Meaning, if you're talking about your opponent, you're giving them oxygen and attention. Just remember, we won. We got 3 years and 10 months left to fix this country. I don't care what they do. They can walk out, they can stand their feet, they can wear stupid pink hats. I don't care. It doesn't matter. One of the best things I saw about Doge, because of course Elon Musk got the idea from Doge from reading my book, Messina's Federal Budget.
Oh, wow.
Available on Amazon. So I'm delighted.
What's the name of the book? What's the name of the book again?
Messina's Federal Budget.
Okay.
Right? So you can find it on Amazon. But more importantly, this young woman, about 25 years old, went on TikTok and she said, I'm going to explain to people my age what all this means. You're hearing about the government and Elon Musk and Doge, and the Democrats are screaming and yelling, and the Republicans are cheering. She said, let me explain it to you in the way you understand. The government is a cheating, lying boyfriend. Doge and Elon Musk are the smart girlfriend who grabs his phone, runs into the bathroom, locks it, and then scrolls through his phone, finding out all the ways that he's been cheating on her and lying to her.
By the way, they're saying, my people on YouTube are saying that your audio is not that good, so I hope my producer fixes that audio. But I want to ask you a question, Chris. Christopher,
is that any better? Let me get the punchline, though. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Is that any better? So she says the point is, the government's a cheating, lying boyfriend. Doge is the girlfriend who's going through his phone and finding out what he's been doing. And when she confronts him with the evidence of all that he's done wrong, he doesn't deny it. He says, you're not allowed to violate my privacy. That's exactly what's happening.
But I want to explain it a little bit better to you. You're upset with Elon Musk for looking into all the theft, and you're getting upset with him for finding all the con men and all the money being spent or given out to the fraudsters. But you're not upset with the fraudsters who stole the money. That's what bothers me. You're pissed off at Musk, who's looking for you, who's tracking you down, who's found all this waste. Even if you don't want to arrest him, he's found the waste. Why don't you just fix that? With all that money, you think we can maybe finally balance the budget?
Come on. You've been in politics long enough, and you've been in New York long enough. The deep state are the Democrats. Washington, D.C., their population is 92% registered Democrat. This is their hometown business, is theft, graft, and corruption. They don't want Elon to find the waste. They know about the waste. They created the waste. They give $2 billion to a not-for-profit run by Stacey Abrams, a serial loser who has never won an election, but somehow to Democrats, she's this wonderful figure. The woman's an idiot, but they took $2 billion of taxpayer money and gave it to her organization that prior to that, the most revenue they'd ever had was $100. It's criminal. They know what they're doing. This is no surprise. They're not surprised by Elon.
See, Christopher, we're lost because now the numbers are trillions and trillions. So when somebody says billion, it doesn't mean anything to them. It means something. But I want to ask you a question. I know you're not in New York anymore, but you're still one of us. Somehow my fellow neighbors, might bring back this. I mean, even my friend Simcha Eichenstein, everybody, Ezra Friedlander, this guy, this lobby says, Heshy, you can't make fun of your politicians and call them doopy, dopey, and sleepy. And I said, maybe about Yeager and Felder I can, but Eichenstein is my friend, but I think that he takes it as a joke. I think he doesn't mind it, and he says, no, he minds it. But this is a good man who saw Cuomo go away, and now he's endorsing, that's what people are telling me, Governor Cuomo to be mayor. I mean, what's your opinion? I mean, are we crazy? This man might even have a chance to be mayor because Adams is down to 12%.
Look, I left New York. My wife and I are, natives going back many generations. We're raising our children happily in New York.
By the way, somebody's calling into the show. Our producer, pick up the phone. Maybe he can't connect you. He doesn't know how to use our phones. You go ahead. Yes, you left New York because we
11%.
I got you.
11% of registered voters bothered to vote, and they voted in this idiot De Blasio, who said he was a communist and a racist. That's what he said he was. And I left. I'm like, I'm done. And I don't know what it will take. How bad does it have to get before New Yorkers stop voting for these idiot Democrats? It's in your question is the assumption that only a Democrat will win. So if Cuomo runs, he'll win. That is insanity.
I know.
New York is full of highly intelligent, highly competitive people. Yet when they go to the polls, they act like 3-year-olds who'd be given a graham cracker and a glass of milk and told them to get another graham cracker, they vote Democrat. It's insanity.
Well, my
Just
friend,
insanity.
by the way, Tom wanted to call him, but Tom, I don't know how the phones work. You can ask your question on YouTube. But I want you to know, Christopher, we are a city that is lost. But again, you see that. By the way, you're the man, the expert here. Are tariffs good or bad? The market dropped 800 points. Somebody's complaining, which it drops all the time, and then it went back up 500 points. What is your opinion on tariffs? I happen to like that. Like the president said yesterday, I want the stuff to be produced in the United States. If it can be produced here, we're going to produce it. We have minerals. I want my cars here. You're right. People are going to say it takes 2-3 years to get back started up. But you know what? They rip us off the other countries. They tariff our products. So America, sell it to America. You got enough business here. Yeah, sell it abroad. I got no problem. We give away billions of dollars, trillions of dollars to the European, to the UN, to all over the world. Spend it on our hungry, on our homeless, on our, they say alone, what they stole, Joe stole alone. We can build enough buildings and enough housing to house all the homeless people and mentally ill.
Well, you're conflating two different issues. One is construction of housing, depending upon the state, between 30 to 70% of the cost of a new building is red tape and government paperwork.
Yeah.
Not a single nail, not a single 2x4, not a single bag of cement. You got to get rid of all that stuff. And then you got zoning issues, right?
Yeah.
The people who love their beautiful views over the Pacific in San Francisco, they're done. They don't want another single building built, so they make it incredibly impossible. Those are two different issues. When it comes to tariffs,
but before you go to that issue, I can understand not blocking a neighbor's beautiful ocean view. But when you're in the middle of the city and you're fighting over a little bit, do you know in New York City to get a set of plans approved, and I was telling you about my guy Ezra, a year before you can get it approved, if you're lucky, a new building. To do any renovations, to go through plan examination, 2, 3, 4 months. And they have so many employees, and they're busy now. I want you to know now that, we have the cameras that they give us tickets for, the bus give us tickets for. We have cops that are not protecting our trains and safety issues. And they allow another protest in Barnard College where these criminal actions, pro-Palestinians are idiots. They're now putting out cameras that if you double park, you're going to get a $50 ticket. This is what we're busy with. We're not busy with safety. We're spending money. We're finding our people, and this is what we're busy with. And when I get into office, let me tell you right now, and I want to tell you, I don't know if you saw my video with the homeless shelter that I'm going to attack them. I'm going to shut that homeless shelter. So I got a call from these homeless people's representatives. And they said, Heshy, I couldn't believe it because I'm not a politician. Because I found out, and this is a very serious matter to all you people on YouTube and Instagram, I found out from inside the mayor's office that Carmen Yeager made a deal with these developers to approve this homeless shelter, but not to tell anybody about it till after he leaves office so he doesn't look like an idiot and nobody would scream at him. And since the seat is vacated, nobody could stop them. So when they saw me there, I'm going to go after them and I'm going to punish them fines. I'm going to make sure they're shut down. I'm going to pull their licenses. They don't even know the hell I'm going to put them through if I get elected. So they told me, Heshy, let's talk about it. Maybe there's a way we can work it out. I said, listen, I don't make deals with people who try to cheat my community and try to lower it. But I said, you know what? I'm willing to offer you a deal, and I want you to hear the deal I made. I said, you got it. I said, first of all, it's not a homeless shelter. You can have families that were in homeless shelters that are rebuilding their lives to come here temporarily, and that's what they say they were going to do originally. I said, no problem. Use the place 50, 60%, and you can make and rip off the government and do whatever you want. But I want 40% of that building to be given to the people or who need regular housing. And I want you to run that building well. And I want you to run it like a good landlord, not to have it thing. And I want your security there. And I told them, most importantly, I don't want you to give out the apartments to the rest of the city. You're taking the space in my town. I want those 30, 40% of your housing to go for only for my residents of my neighborhood. They said, well, Heshy, that's too much. I said, well, if you don't do it that way, you're not going to get it. And that's the deal I'm going to make with them. And if they don't want to make that deal, they're out of here. And I promise you, Christopher, that's the first thing I'm going after. And the DOB and the HPD of what the fines and the punishment and the lies they do, I'm going to go after them because I'm the one who does that job. 8 months, a year, vacated people from the homes, chiefs. You know, I write an email. The guy writes me up. He vacates somebody from his home for stupidity and gives him a stop work order. We file the plans. We roll the permits. We go through the system. We send in the requests. We call them. They don't call back for a week or 2 weeks or a month, and then they set up an appointment. And there's where the red tape comes in. When finally I get on the phone and I threaten one of the chiefs and say, I'm Heshy Tischler, candidate for city council, and if you don't call me back, I know what I'm going to have to do. I get a call back, and the guy tells us what to do. I said, I did everything. I said, but to call you back again, it takes forever. I said, why is that? He says, we're busy. I said, you're busy with what? I'm out there. I have one of the biggest offices in New York City. I'm busy, and I don't see where you people are serving us. You're only giving violations and hurting us. Christopher, I know what you're going through with zoning and permits and plans, and I do little jobs. God forbid the stuff you do, you're a dead man.
It's a pain in the ass. And so one of the biggest hurdles to economic growth is overregulation. And you pointed
you're
out
gone, Christopher.
just what you said.
Christopher, you're
that
gone,
extra,
baby. We can't hear a word you're saying, Christopher.
Oh, man.
What happened? There you go. We got you back.
That what you just said, that whole point of it takes a year to get a permit, that's part of that 60% cost. You're just sitting doing nothing. Your property is not being built upon while you wait for some idiot bureaucrat to sign a piece of paper. All that nonsense has to end. But your question about tariffs, look, for way too long, the American government pretended that we were still a rich country. We're effectively bankrupt. We're $38 trillion in formal debt. It's more like 130 trillion when it comes to unfunded liabilities, pension liabilities, promises made by politicians who don't have to pay it off themselves. They have no personal liability for what they do. So for a while, the idiots in the U.S. government would go to India or China and they talk about, oh, we're a poor developing country, and we need to protect our industries from big American might. And all Trump has come in and said, China is the second richest country in the economy in the world. They've still managed to keep their status as a developing country, just like they're Haiti. So they get all these massive benefits while the leaders in China drive around in Rolls Royces and live in $80 million apartments.
Right.
But the problem with their culture and why ours wins.
Yeah, go ahead. We're listening to it.
Sorry. I mean, there's a phrase that we use constantly, which is that you'd rather be a millionaire in Tokyo than a billionaire in Beijing.
Wow.
Right? Or in New York. You can live a perfectly lovely middle-class life as a millionaire in Manhattan. right? That kind of freaks people out. If you're sitting in Kansas, you're a millionaire, you're living large. In Manhattan, you're solidly middle class at $1 million, right? Um, do you want to live in a place where things work well and it's okay and you can get good food and
Right.
you can trust stuff, or do you want to be a billionaire in Turd Mountain? I mean, you couldn't pay me to be a billionaire if I had to live in Beijing. No
I know.
thanks.
Right.
Don't want to do it. So it's a hard thing. There's a huge amount of argumentation back and forth about tariffs. What Trump is trying to say in his own beautiful ham-handed way is that let's let everybody compete fairly. Ideally, there would be a world of zero tariffs.
Well, the only
Period.
person I don't want to compete is George Soros, who got $240 million. This multi-billionaire gets $240 million from you and me to do something. Anyways, we have Tom on the phone. I think he can connect us in. Can you connect us in?
Heshy.
Tom, say hello to Christopher. I love you.
Hey,
By the way,
Tom.
Christopher, Tom has kicked his butt, walks out in the rain and the snow, and he's collected me hundreds of signatures. And whenever I get upset in the middle of the night, a little depressed, I pick up the phone, whether it's 11 o'clock at night or 3 in the morning. This guy sounds like he sounds now like, Heshy, don't worry about it. I said, Tom, you sleeping? No, not for you, sir. Stop calling me sir. I'm Heshy. You're coming and joining my team.
You know, I'm just listening to the two of you guys talk, and I had to come in. And Heshy, I can't wait till you get to the city council and have your own State of the Union. I can't wait till you can go out there and address all of those 50 other council members. And Mr. Messina, he's on target on the tariffs, and I wanted to chime in.
Oh, I just want you to know,
Well done. Thank
my
you, Tom.
opening speech, when you get elected, especially on a vacant seat, they let you come up and speak for a few minutes. And Tom and all you people out there, buckle up, because those 5 minutes they let me speak. If you think the president
No,
was...
last
it's
5
not
minutes.
going to be 5 minutes. Knowing you, it's going to be 55 minutes. They're not going to be able to get you off that podium.
they're
When
not.
you get in there in 20 days, I have no doubt that you're going to speak more than 5 minutes. And I can't wait to see it.
I love you, Tom. And by the way, I know, Christopher, you like to eat the fancy meals. You're a nice, elegant man, and you're delicious, and you have a very nice taste. But my victory party to all you fans, and Tom is a great guy. So Tom and me are pizza men. We just sit there together. We're happy with pizza. But Tom has a problem. He likes vegetables on his pizza. I think he's crazy. I don't know what's wrong with you, Tom.
Plain as a, well, I can't say plain as a day today because it's been raining horribly here in New York, but I'm plain as a day.
You got
Plain
it,
as a
Tom.
day when it
Well,
comes to
I'm
pizza.
going to invite
Give me-
everybody to Amnon's Pizza. Pizza all night long, and we're going to eat pizza. We're going to celebrate. We're going to cheer, and that's all I can afford because Linda will kill me if I spend more than that. And I'm scared of that woman. But Tom, I want you to know thank you for all you've helped, and you should all come out like Tom, who's kicked his butt for me, who stood behind me, who's put me on the first ballot, who's putting me on this next ballot because he's already put me over the number. And I just want you to know Tom already is preparing for my independent run for the main. I love you, Tom. I love you, Tom.
We got to listen. And by the way, while I have a chance, I know you and Mr. Messina have a lively discussion. HeshyTischler.com, 5318 16th Avenue. Stop by the office anytime. Get your walking shoes on. Get out there and knock on some doors. We're 20 days away, going on 19 days as of tomorrow. Just enough Heshy at gmail.com. Stop by. This is the opportunity. Heshy, I see the last couple weeks, you got big turnouts here in the chat, even if you're not here right now. Mr. Messina, anybody else, dial up some voters. We can do that remotely. We can set you up with a call list. You can call some people, and you can make a difference. There's only going to be a few thousand people that vote in this, so you could really make the difference. You love Heshy? This is the opportunity. This is the time. Last time we came up short by a handful of ballots. That teaches us that you're here right now. I see all these people in the chat. I've been watching the show the entire time. You got no excuse. You can do
I
it
love
from home.
you,
If you're
Tom.
anywhere else, make a
Absolutely.
few phone calls. An hour of your time can make the difference. Just
You're the
1
best.
hour of your
You're-
time can really make that difference.
Tom, I love you. And what I'm going to tell you is one thing, that there's one person on my chat that said jalapeno, pineapple, onion on your pizza. Are you crazy? Are you crazy, Infinite? Pineapple on a pizza?
I
How
gotta
can-
be honest, especially in our district where pizza is kind of the pretty much the king of all foods in this district. I would say it's got to be for me plain New York style pizza.
That's
Nothing
it.
on it.
And Christopher, we're gonna drag you down here, and I'm gonna get you the best pizza in town. No more corned beef sandwiches for you. Christopher loves my corned beef. He's addicted. You should see him. He loves the corned beef, but he's not too bright because he also likes pastrami. Christopher, you are one of us, baby. You're a corned beef boy.
Well, you gotta come back to Essence. But let's first almonds after you win. But in the meantime, if you're here, I gotta say it one more time, Heshy, to plug it. 5318 16th Avenue, right by the D train, corner of 54th. HeshyTishler.com, just enough Heshy at gmail.com. Come on down, knock on some doors, make some phone calls. If you're here and you're hundreds of miles away from the 44th Council District, we can set you up. You can make a few phone calls from home. You can make the difference. Just
I love
1
you, Tom.
hour of our time. Heshy, you lost the primary by a handful of votes last time. You want a councilman that's going to go out there like Trump, and he's going to speak his mind. He's not going to be brought by the same old status quo and, somebody that's going to make real change. This is it. Is the only guy running this year in New York City that's going to make that change coming up.
Well, Tom, I'm letting you go, but one prediction I want from you, and I know it's going to upset you. Who's going to win the mayor race? Cuomo is really is he going to win this? I mean, please tell me no. Please tell me no.
I don't buy into the whole Cuomo, Rose Garden strategy. I think that at the end of the day, the Democratic electorate, and I think that the city electorate is not going to give somebody back an opportunity like Cuomo. Yes, he's certainly getting, a lot of attention because of Adams, and I think that there is certainly a need for leadership in the city. But I think with all of Cuomo's problems, and I think that voters of all stripes, when they remember all those innocent people that Cuomo killed, when they think about how Cuomo is also the reason, by the way, Cuomo's the reason why we have no cash bail. Cuomo's the reason why we have congestion pricing. Cuomo and Simca Felder and Kalman Yeager and Simca Eichenstein, all of the local politicians in Brooklyn, along with Governor Cuomo, they're the ones that were supporters of congestion pricing. Like I said, no cash bail, all of the rollbacks of these laws that we had that kept our city and state safe, that's Governor Cuomo. Governor Cuomo and Simca Felder. So everybody that's out there, remember, it's Governor Cuomo and Simca Felder. They're the reasons why we have congestion pricing and no cash bail.
You're great.
Felder didn't fight those laws.
Tom,
Heshy's been fighting for day one.
Day one.
Mandates with our communities here in the 44th Council District. We're in those goofy color zones. It was Governor Cuomo, Simca Felder, Kalman Yeager.
Don't worry, I'm going to get him. I love you, Tom. Tom, I love you, Tom. You're the best, and God bless you. And I thank you so much, Tom. You are not a friend. You are, I don't know, you're like a confidant, a son, a nephew, a brother. You are just so good to me, Tom. God bless you, and your special show, the Sports Wire Wrestling, you're like a genius. You're just a wild man. You're so smart, and I love you. I want to go back to you, Christopher. I have something I don't understand. I do understand. Can you explain to us, because we're New Yorkers, and this war in Ukraine with Zelensky, I mean, is Zelensky an idiot, number one? How you talk to the president like that, and number two, all the funding you're going to lose, and now he's writing a letter to come back to us. Explain to me, and I don't have to explain what peace will do for us, and already, what's her name, Pocahontas and all those other idiots are saying that President Bush look, I'm forgetting who I'm talking to. President Trump is already back to friends with Putin. Can you explain this lies and what's going on here and how this could fix us?
Here's what I suggest for everyone's sanity, because we spent 4 years dealing with Handsy Hair Sniffer Joe and Cackles, his idiot sidekick. And it was important to stay focused on their idiocy because we had to remind the American people how awful these commie scum were. And we had to toss them out of office, and we did. I truncated that. It was about to be 2 syllables, which is bad for radio, but I got away with 1. It's fine. I've studied the code. But I just admonish all of us, don't feed the beast. Ignore these clowns. Who cares what Elizabeth Warren has to say? Who cares what Upchuck Schumer has to say? They lost. It's over. We are shrinking the government. The Democrats never once provided a single reason why, of all the conflicts in the world, we're supposed to care about Ukraine. And I will tell you why I say that. I was involved early in the war, 8 or 10 days into the start of the war, that Russia invaded, where, because I do a lot of work with the military, the Ukrainian Air Force needed MiGs, which is the type of plane they fly, Russian made. And had they received those MiGs, they could have pushed the Russians back out of Ukraine. A group I'm part of, who was involved in aircraft training, aircraft leasing and sales, we found them 28 MiGs that they could fly,
Wow.
and we were arranging them to be sold to the Ukrainian government. And a day before the transaction was to be completed, the Biden administration stopped it. They wouldn't let them buy the planes from us. So I'm not going on hearsay. I'm not going on theories. We were selling them the planes they could use to push the Russians out of the country. The Biden administration stopped it. And then they went on with all this nonsense of, well, we're going to sell them defensive weapons instead of offensive weapons. And the war is still dragging on. $300 billion later, the people bearing the pain are the young
Where half
Russian
the money
men.
is missing. Remember that Zelensky himself doesn't know where half the money
Right,
is.
and that,
How,
that's
how do you
fine.
lose
Again,
half? I
because
understand
that's all
10%.
part of the fog of war. There's nothing new about that, and I don't want to get caught up in the distraction of the accounting. Did sleazy Ukrainian generals take American military hardware and sell it on the black market? Yes, they do. So no one has ever explained to me adequately, as I just spoke to a friend yesterday who has gone back and forth to Ukraine as if nothing has changed in the past 4 years. There are young men, Russian and Ukrainian men, dying on the front lines for no reason, whereas Kiev is the same as it's always been. His
Right.
same three-star restaurants are open, the
Fancy
same
cars on
discotheques,
the
the
street.
pretty
Yeah.
girls, everything's fine. So this grift the Democrats pulled on Americans, where overnight everyone had a damn Ukrainian flag on their desk in the window on the car. No one explained, and still has not explained, why one corrupt dictator invading another corrupt dictatorship matters to America at all. So I'm delighted this nonsense is over. And for your own sanity,
Is it over? Is it over?
no, I mean the insanity of the Biden
No, no, I
administration
know
is
that, but
over.
do you think Trump can fix this right now? Because I'm tired of this story. I
Yes,
need it to
and
end
your
tomorrow or
second
the
point
next
about
day.
Putin. Your second point about Putin. This is just the stupidest Democrat non-talking point. They are just beyond embarrassing to themselves. He likes Putin. He's trying to end a war. When you want to end a war, you talk to both sides. This insanity that, I mean, Adam Schiff, if he isn't in an orange federal jumpsuit within a year, along with 50 others with this stupid Russian collusion nonsense, the same number of Americans still believe in this ridiculous Russian garbage that Hillary Clinton paid to make up. The same percentage of Americans believe we didn't land on the moon. So the only thing to do is ignore them, move on. We won. Don't pay them attention. Don't get angry at them. Did these spoiled children walk out of the State of the Union address?
Right.
It's an embarrassment to themselves,
And the
not to
stupid
anybody
signs.
else.
You saw the stupid
Ridiculous.
sign.
They
Did you
brought
see?
signs. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
I was embarrassed when I saw that congressmen and
Absurd.
senators. I mean, you're supposed to. I mean, we're supposed to show unity in the greatest country, the most powerful country, and we can't even do that. I'm just. By
They-
the
they
way,
have so
by the way, the lady.
deranged
By the way,
hatred.
the lady that embarrassed that 13-year-old cancer person. Her name is
Yeah.
Nicole Wallace. I mean. For the record, that this is disgusting. She said that the president made a spectacle out of praising a young man who
Don't give her the airtime. Don't say her name on the air. Who cares? One more loser making a non-point. Who could care? This brave young man who's at 13 years old has had 13 brain surgeries, and he is proud as punch that the president of the United States has given him, recognition and honor. And he said something like, I've had 13 brain surgeries, which by definition have changed my mind and my personality every time it happened. I'm just here to do the best I can for my family before I die, because no one knows when God will take him.
Wow. I want to say
Wow. Talk
goodbye.
about the
I want
right
to.
thing to say that a
One
single
minute.
Democrat could never come up with.
I want to say goodbye to who our listeners that are leaving us now from
Now I've lost you.
WSNR
Can't hear you.
620 AM and WJPR 1640 and WNEW 102.7. Thank you for listening to the show. But we still have a few more minutes for our people. And Christopher, we're done with Zelensky. I mean, I hope that war ends, and I know I can't ask you about Gaza because I can't get it. I don't really want to take over Gaza because there's no way that we can make it into a resort. I like the idea that President Trump came up with. It's never going to work because somebody will come with a bomb. Somebody will kill a resort person. Lebanon was the nicest, more gorgeous city and country. They had these beautiful little. I forgot what's the capital of Lebanon. There, I forgot what it was. Beirut, most
was the
beautiful
Paris of the
city
Middle
they
East.
say in the world, and they rebuilt it again for billions of dollars. And look at this, they just blow it up. They have things. I know they're crazy out there. I don't know why. If you're given the opportunity, at the end of the day, to be billionaires, to have a good life, why would you do this? Kill yourselves and blow you up? I don't know. The fixed Gaza thing has to be that we have the UN in there, which is no good anyways.
Useless. The UN likes to kill Jews.
Yeah.
The UN abducted people on October 7th. The Red Cross, for the first time in its existence, did not demand to go see hostages in a war zone. All of them should be executed, as far as I'm concerned. As Winston Churchill said, when someone asked him at the end of the war, what should we do with all these horrible, horrible SS officers, these Nazi generals, the leadership? And Churchill said, that's really easy. We're going to have a fair trial for a few dozen of them and then hang them. There's no doubt about their guilt. We'll have a fair trial. Sure. Sounds great. Let's do it. These people, and I hate to say this about anybody, but this has been true since the 1929 Hebron massacre that was fostered by Hajj al-Amin al-Husseini, who was led off by the British, right? And in another pattern of the rest of the world not caring when Jews are hacked to death and babies are torn out of their mother's arms. They let him off. They had an inquiry. They let him off. The 4 men that were actually convicted of the thousands that participated, the Palestinians celebrate as Martyrs' Day.
Yeah.
Right? This is an evil, poisoned society. They're horrible people. The Israelis, the Jews, teach our children.
You know they're brainwashed. Those people there, and
but that
I mean, they must be.
brainwashing
I
either
don't even know how
predict
dumb
or
they
not.
are that they could be brainwashed to kill other people's children and mothers and
All
rape.
day long. So there is no solution. My solution is Valentine's Day 1945 in Dresden times 50. Everyone can look up that historical reference. They're a nightmare. There's no redemption for these people. It's a horror show.
Can I get a prediction? Can I get a prediction out of you? 2020. By the way, BlackRock. Zelensky couldn't get the president, so he goes to all the rich corporations to get the money. So he's going to sell them the rights. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, why would BlackRock and gamble with J.P. Morgan and all talk to the Zelensky guy when the president just threw him out? Aren't they stupid?
I don't know the details.
I saw a meeting after he came out. He was shaking
Yeah, I don't know.
hands.
They talk to everybody. Why not talk to everybody? Whatever.
But
I
these
feel
are corporation bigs. Anyways, what's your prediction for 2025? Will we have a good year or not? I'm talking
fantastic
across the
year.
board. Peace, prosperity. Do you think it'll be a good year, or we're just going to still fight with each other and never
I
make
think
this
it's a
work?
fantastic year. I think Republicans just have to start ignoring the whining, screeching left. They've proven to us that they hate America. They don't want anything to do with us. They would rather ruin things than not. They support horrible people against their entire worldview has been distorted and twisted. And this is not an accident. The Marxist left in America in the 1960s made a concerted effort to go into the education system to change the minds of the youth. And right now they're winning. Right now, there's no greater evidence in their winning that a stupid blue-head loser could walk around on Barnard campus with a sign saying "Queers for Palestine." You might as well write "Cows for Abattoirs." It is the stupidest thing ever. So we've got a big purge coming. As I tell people, Joe McCarthy, his heart was in the right place and he had a good idea, but he lacked grit and follow through. We have to do another serious leftist purge in this country and just take them out. It's like applying hot metal to a tick. They've all got to be ripped from our institutions, and America can get back to being America.
I love
And
you.
these idiots can become a footnote in history.
I want to thank all my listeners for joining in. Christopher, you are just a great guest. Everybody says you're one of my best guests. You're the most intelligent, smartest, and I'm jealous of your good
Very
looks.
kind.
I love you. I love you, everybody. I love you for tuning in. We got 20 days or 19 days, like Tom says. I'm
You
going
gotta
to be
win.
elected, and I want you to have a good time. Play that music.
See you later.